Welcome back to the Law Show. I'm attorney Brian Dailey, broadcasting live from high atop the Law Show studios in the Windy City, Chicago, answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. That's 855-LAW SHOW. You can get in touch with us in a myriad of different ways. You can text us keyword Law Show at 46786. We'll get back with you right away. You can follow us and like us and talk to us and communicate with us on Facebook. Follow us at The Law Show on Twitter. You can go to our website, thelawshow.com. You can send an email to questions@thelawshow.com. And if you're on our website, you will be given an invitation to get in a instant chat there, and we can answer questions in that way. There's virtually no impediment to you folks getting in touch with us to find out if you've got a case, and if so, whether or not you should pursue it. We were talking to Ray before we went to the break. We do have Debra Crane here. We've got some family law questions we're going to get to shortly. But we're going to finish with Ray, whose brother-in-law died in the hospital. Ray, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, well, here's how medical malpractice works. Are you there, Ray?
Hello.
Ray?
Yes.
All right. So here's how medical malpractice works. You have to get a doctor to review the medical records to determine if there was a breach of the standard of care. And contrary to popular belief, people in Illinois are not entitled to the very best medical care at all, and doctors aren't required to provide it. They're only required to provide average medical care. And so what we're trying to find out in a medical malpractice case, if the doctor fell below the average standard of medical care, because what they do is they look at what do most doctors do. And they're not required to go the extra mile. The fact that they don't go the extra mile and don't get the result that they want, as long as they adhere to an average standard of care, then there's no medical malpractice case. But it sounds like your brother-in-law may have been a victim of medical malpractice, and I'd like to take a look at the medical records. If you have them, if you could get them to me, we'd have them reviewed, and we'd get back with you probably in about 7 to 14 days. Now, did your brother-in-law die with family members, wife, children?
No, just his two sisters and mother.
And what about his wife?
He was never married.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, listen.
He's just got two sisters and a mom.
All right. Well, we've got your phone number. You can call us, and we can get together and we can talk about this situation further. I need to take a look at the medical records. Okay?
Great. Thank you.
Thanks for calling the Law Show. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. Remember, Debra Crane is here from the Dailey Law Firm. She is a 25-year veteran of family law practice in both Michigan and Illinois, and here to answer your questions. We're going to talk to Joe now. Joe, you're on the Law Show. Joe, you're on the air.
I have a question. I got a 22-year-old son that has Downs, and my ex-wife's got full guardianship.
Yep.
And it's going to go to 12, where she wants to go to Columbus, Ohio with my son, and saying that it's more beneficial for her to go to Columbus, Ohio to try to get a job because she hasn't had a job for 3 years. And she still has a house there, got quite a bit of equity. She's saying that she doesn't have any money, even though she got $50,000 in her bank. And I'm saying that she's not doing everything possible. She's not getting a link card for my son. She's not even getting a link card for herself. She could get cash. She could get a lot of things she chooses not to. And plus, she's spending money for private health care insurance, where his doctors could get paid for Medicaid, and she chooses not to go through Medicaid, even though they would take a Medicaid. So we're going to do a trial to try to resolve the situation, but she won't talk to me and work it out. So I just want to see what the chances are, because it's going to cost me thousands of dollars for going through trial.
Joe, do you have a lawyer?
I do have a lawyer, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to fund the expedition, because I think it's going to be very, very expensive.
Okay, so what is your question for us?
The question is, what chances will you think I could have when I go to trial to build a case saying that she can get money. She can get Medicaid and get a link card, and she could have the financial resources to stay in the state of Illinois, but she chooses not to.
All right. Well, let's see if Debra Crane's got an answer. Debra, what do you think?
Well, Joe, the first thing is you should sit down with your lawyer again and go over these questions, and I'm sure he or she will answer them for you. I'm assuming your judgment of dissolution of marriage has you paying support because your child is handicapped. So is that the problem? You're having to pay support, and you are trying to maybe get custody of your son? Well, I don't really know what you're trying to do.
Well, it sounds like, Debra, what he wants is he wants his son to be able to stay in his current location, so that he can continue to visit rather than let mom take him to Columbus, Ohio. And his point is, and he's off the air now, but his point is that the reason that mom is saying she has to go is so she can get a job. And Joe is saying, well, you shouldn't have to do that because you've got all these other government resources that you can take advantage of, and you're not doing it. So would the judge be inclined to say, no, I'm not going to let you move for a job until you exhaust everything that you can do out here first, like get on government assistance programs?
Brian, you're right. The judge will look at everything to try and keep this family near each other so that Joe can visit, and he shouldn't have to pay more if his son is entitled to government benefits. So certainly the judge will consider all those factors, and Joe should pursue it.
Yeah, he is. Sounds like he's pursuing it, but he's got a minimum amount of funds necessary to pursue that. One of the questions I wanted to answer before he dropped off the line was, how much time does he spend with his son anyway? So if Joe doesn't spend any time with his son and doesn't see him or doesn't do things with him, a judge is perhaps going to be more likely to allow the out-of-state move, don't you think?
I do. I agree, Brian. That's absolutely true.
So, I know you work a lot with grandparent rights. Tell us a little bit about the status of grandparent rights out there in your practice in family law.
Well, I'll tell you, there's certainly a lot of litigation over grandparent rights. And, with so many couples divorced, that opens the door for grandparents to have standing to go in and motion the court to have a relationship with their children. And in Illinois, it's very important that grandparents offer the love and support as the child grows, and they're pretty good.
Well, that's timely because we're going to talk to Laura, and she's got a question about grandparent rights. Laura, you're on the Law Show. Laura? Hello?
Hello?
You're on the Law Show. Turn your radio down.
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm calling about an antibiotic I took. I took one of them, and I ended up in the hospital for 5 days.
Yeah.
And the doctors at the time told me it couldn't have been the antibiotic because I only took one of them. Well, a few weeks ago, I was not feeling well, and the antibiotic I was given by the doctor was over the same issue I had, and I took it again. So I thought, well, I'll take this antibiotic because that didn't cause me getting sick. I ended up in intensive care in April after taking one of those antibiotics. So I took the antibiotic 2 weeks ago, and the very same thing happened to me, but I didn't go to the hospital because it was such a horrible experience and so expensive.
Right.
So I was wondering, can I get my money for my hospital bill from that drug manufacturer, which is running to thousands of dollars?
Probably not, and the reason why it's not likely is because the drug manufacturer is not going to be held responsible for an allergic reaction. Now, one avenue you may have is that you took it to begin with, and then you had the reaction, and your doctor said, no, it couldn't be that, and he prescribed it to you again.
No, he didn't prescribe it to me again. I had it at home, and I thought, well, I'm having my bladder issue again. I'm going to take this pill because it was a Saturday, and I couldn't see the doctor, and I didn't think the pill would make me sick. But the very same thing happened to me. I was vomiting horribly and diarrhea, and I was sick the whole next 2 days.
I don't think...
Now I know it's that antibiotic.
Yeah, I don't think that you're going to be able to pursue that very easily for a couple of reasons. The main thing is that there's really not enough upside potential in terms of recovery to justify the expense of it. And so if you'd like more information, just call us at the office or just open up the phone book and find a lawyer that handles medical malpractice. And in fact, everybody listening out there, there's no obligation for you to call our office. Of course, we'd love you to call our office, but we're here to give you advice on Saturday morning, have a cup of coffee with you, to entertain you and to give you some good advice so that you can make some plans. And if you decide in those plans to call us, that's a great thing, and we'd love to hear from you. You can call us at 855-529-7469. We're going to take a short break. When we come back from these important messages, we will talk to Laura about the grandparents' rights. There was a little mix-up with our board op. We'll be right back.